Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Katarina and I invite you to decorate this gorgeous mini album with me. Now I made this album a couple of years ago and it's been completed as you see it in here. I never got to deliver it. However, at the time of me recording this video, I'm just getting ready to deliver it to my sister. And this one measures 8¼ by 8¼ inches and the spine of it is 3½ inches. This is for an autumn birthday and it's got like autumnal themed papers all inside. I'll give you a quick peek in a minute, but I will do a proper walkthrough of this album at the end of this video. So if you'd like to see how I made it, please stay tuned to the end. I will be making my flowers. I'll end up not using the daisy dies, but I will end up using both the Beautiful Bouquet Bloom and the Beautiful Bouquet Blossom stamp and die sets from the Beautiful Bouquet collection from Chloe's Creative Cards. And for the papers, I'm going to be working with the Pastel Sorbet collection. Now, on the left-hand side there, you can see I opened the album a little bit just to show you, give you an idea on what kind of colors I am working with. So from the Pastel Sorbet collection, I'm going to pick out the orangey and the yellowish toned color. And I'm going to use the darker side of each, and those look, even though it's called the Pastel Sorbet collection, it looks really nice and autumnal, and especially in conjunction with the embossing powders that I'm going to be using on these. So this is the orangey one and the yellowish one I'm going to pick out, and I think these match the colors inside the album just perfectly. I picked out a few different wow embossing powders to do my heat embossing for these flower stamps. And on the yellowish paper, for one of the flowers, I'm going to be using the Turkish coffee. And for the other one, I'm going to be using the tarnished brass. As I mentioned before, I'm using two different stamp sets, so one for each. On the orangey paper, for one of those stamps, I'm going to be using the Chinese lantern. And for the other one, I'm going to be using the pomegranate. These are all gorgeous embossing powders. They are really, really nice. I absolutely adore these all. And they really fit for the theme for me. So I was very, very happy to have these in my stash. And by the way, these were a part of my prize-winning bundle from Wow. If you watched any of my videos before, you will know that I love heat embossing. It is a big part of my paper crafting. I love how it looks. It's really magical, and I just love how it transforms any project into something really beautiful. So this is here me stamping it the second time, just to show you the difference. So when I sprinkle the embossing powder on it, how dark and dull that color looks. But once you heat set it, you will see in a minute, I will bring it up to the screen, how shiny, lovely it gets. So off camera, I'm just gonna keep going and gonna keep stamping and heat embossing these flowers and the other ones as well, which have, by the way, 4 petals, as you can see in there. And these are ones on the orange, and now I'm just going to have to die cut these. So both of these stamps come with matching die sets, and I'm going to fill out the areas where I hadn't heat embossed any of those petals, just to cut out a lot of those stamen dies that are also included in this stamp and die sets, so I'm not wasting much paper. And here off camera I've cut them all out, and just how gorgeous they look. Now I'll end up not using all of these on this album, but I always prefer to have some extra flowers, and I can put them away in my stash for some quick card making if I ever needed to make one. And since I was recording this video at the start of July or mid-July maybe, I knew that coming later on into the year, I will definitely make use of the extra flowers. So in here, I'm just adding random dots with my dry clear glue, and I'm using the acrylic glue by Cosmic Shimmer, and just randomly adding them all over those petals, and then I'm going to dip them into the Crystalina glitter, which is a lovely iridescent glitter with such lovely sparkle to it. So once these dry, it will leave it with a really, really nice sparkle, and you will not see any of the white glue underneath, only all that gorgeous shine and sparkle all over the petals. Now I'm going to repeat the same process to every single petal that I have created there. So I'm just gonna do that off camera. There really is no point of me putting all that on video because it's just literally dabbing the little dots and then dipping them into the crystallina. These are the stamens which I already heat embossed with the same heat embossing powders I already shared before. I'm going to mix match them up a bit. So the orangey petals that have the Chinese lantern on it will have the pomegranate on the stamens, and the tarnished brass on the petals of the yellowish brownish kind of a color paper will have the Turkish coffee as the stamen. I think it just adds a lovely nice interest to it. So I am pinching every single petal downwards and then I'm pulling them upwards from the center of those flowers, and this will add them a lovely dimension. I'm going to layer 2 on top of each other and offsetting them a bit. I just use my hot glue in here. I prefer to use hot glue for my flowers. That's what I'm most comfortable with because that's what I know the most. You can use any glue that you like. So I'm going to add 2 sets of stamens again on top of the flowers. I'm just going to lay one of them flat and the other one I'm going to add a little bit of a dimension to by pressing down in the middle. I'm just using a pen, but you can use any flower forming tool that you may have in your stash. So again, just a little bit of hot glue, and I'm going to add that on top of the other one. And I'm going to do exactly the same thing to that other flower to which I used the other stamp and die sets, and that one has 4 petals while this one had 5. So I'm just going to do exactly the same thing to this one and then to all the other flowers off camera. In here I'm showing you the largest one of both, but these flowers come in 3 different sizes, so the large, the medium and the small, and the stamens similarly to match those sizes. So again, I'm just going to add a bit of a hot glue to the stamen, and this one takes a little bit longer to stick to this last layer because there is already embossing powder on it, and which makes it a bit of plasticky. So just have to make sure that I added enough pressure onto it. So this is all the medium and the small flowers all ready and prepared. And also in here you can pick up on all that lovely color difference in the embossing powder on the stamens and all on the petals as well. They are just stunning, aren't they? I really love how they turned out. Wanted to add a little bit of a foliage, so I decided to use the 2 dies from the Beautiful Bouquet Foliage die set by Chloe's Creative Cards, and I'm using the 2 that have those berry-like features to them. And I just cut these out of vellum, and I added a little bit of a green color, just very subtle green color, by using Distress Oxide Mauve Lawn. And I didn't add too much, I didn't go too heavy on it, I just wanted it to be nice and subtle just in the background a bit. And now it is time to decorate the front of our album using all the gorgeous flowers and the foliage that we just prepared. For the background, I wanted to add a little bit of a color, and I wanted it to match some of the albums on the inside. So I decided to use the Sentimental Layering die set, Congratulations, by Tonic Studios, which by the way contains altogether 10 dies, but I don't end up using all of those on this album. But it will add a gorgeous background to this, so you'll see in a minute. Using that largest colored edge circle die, I cut it out of white heavyweight cardstock, and this is going to be the base for my decorating in there. And then taking the next die, which has got that lovely decorative edge, all the swirls on it, I cut out of gold mirror cardstock to match the inside of my album. The next I dined with that lovely decorative swirly detail on it, which I will show you in a minute in a bit from a bit better angle, so you'll be able to see what it exactly looks like. I cut out of the same pattern paper that I'm using inside the album on some of the pages. Now, by the way, those are digital papers that I downloaded years ago. If I can still find it, I will link to them below because they are absolutely stunning, and you will see if you stay on to watch the walkthrough of this album, you will see how gorgeous those digital papers are. So this gold mirror paper cardstock, I'm going to pop up against a little bit of a chipboard in there, just to add it as some dimension. And in here I'm using my collal glue, my hot glue gun, and some double-sided tape as well on all the different layers. I want to make sure that everything will stick properly, because it's quite a heavy album and I want this to be just as sturdy on the front. So I'm adding a little bit of a hot glue. I add a bit of a collal to it. I know collal glue will dry nice and strong, but the hot glue will just ensure that it will stick almost instantly in there and it will not start moving once I'm arranging my flowers. So this here, you can see much better on the white side what a lovely design on there is. Now it looks in real life absolutely stunning, even on the darker side, but I just know that the camera is not picking it up just as beautifully. So I'm removing the backing of all these red tapes, and I'm going to add it on top of the gold mirror cardstock. And I'm going to lay this on top diagonally, so the square is in a diamond shape. And that square, by the way, I've cut out of white heavyweight cardstock as well, on which I will stamp my sentiment on later. Now I'm just using a happy birthday one in there just as a placeholder while I'm arranging the flowers, kind of getting an idea which way I want them to be. But I will end up using a different sentiment, and it is one from the Colorific sentiment from JMC Designs, which was part of my winning bundle from them. And it says, imagine with all your mind, believe with all your heart, achieve with all your might. I think it's so lovely and inspirational. I really love that. So I'm using my stamping platform in here to stamp this using my Versamark ink, and because I'm going to be heat embossing this, I used my embossing buddy just to remove any oily or finger marks in there. So my embossing powder will only stick to that sticky ink from the stamp. The embossing powder I'm using is by Wow, and this is the gold metallic rich regular embossing powder. Now I prefer to use fine for sentiments like this, but I gave it a go and it worked absolutely perfectly. So regular metallic rich gold embossing powder worked absolutely beautifully in here. I've cut out the same square from another piece of white heavyweight cardstock, and I'm layering these on top of each other. Using my collal glue will ensure that it will add lovely, nice sturdiness to this once it properly dries. I'm going to use some double-sided tape just at the back of this, and I'm going to layer it on top of that brown decorative piece of cardstock in there. And from then on, it is just down to decorating, arranging the flowers and the foliage all over my album. And I will also end up adding little pearls, white iridescent pearls from Chloe's Creative Cards into the middle of these flowers. So I will just add some music in here so you can watch. And once this is done, I will come back and I will include the walkthrough of this album to this video. So talk to you in a minute. So in here I'm just adding my last finishing touches to this album, the little pearls in the middle of the flowers, and once that glue dries completely clear it will look beautiful, and I will in a minute include an image for you all to see once this is fully dry, just like this. How gorgeous is that? Now just a little advice for anyone who is planning to make something like this and take it on the airplane. Don't. I could have cried when we unpackaged this at my sister's place. All that work and some of those flowers was just completely destroyed. Even though it was quite carefully packaged, it's still just on the in the suitcase. It didn't really survive the trip. So I suppose on my next travel over, I will have to bring some more flowers and my hot glue gun with me to fix it all up. But other than that, I think you're gonna agree with me that this album looks absolutely gorgeous, and I invite you now for the rest of this video to check out the walkthrough of this album, and I'll see you at the end. Okay, so now the front is decorated, it's time for a walkthrough. Okay, so the album measures 8¼ by 8¼ inches and the spine is 3½. Every single page inside will measure 8 by 8 inches. Now, I have mentioned that I used autumn themed papers all right throughout the album, and if they are still available, it's a digital paper that I printed myself. If it's still available on Etsy, I will link it below if anyone wants to check them out. I think they're gorgeous, gorgeous papers. So the colors are, as I said, autumn colors like orangey, briny, greeny colors, and the cream right through. And I also combined it with some gold on the front pages mainly. So on this side, this bit opens up and there's loads of room for your photographs and journaling, and this is all both 8 by 8 inches and closes on a magnet. This is a lovely room here to write your little message or comments. Now the first signature, and every single signature in this, all 6, will have a pocket. Let me show you that first. Okay, so all of these will have a pocket like this here, where you can also hide loads of photographs or anything that you wish. So this opens, the little belt opens on it, and this is magnetic closing as well. Okay, and there's a little concertina fold in here, which again 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Room for 10 photographs there already, and we are only starting off. Yeah, so opens up this way, lovely big room for adding any memories in there. And this one is the waterfall feature. I absolutely love it. I think it's just so fun. I love interactive albums. I love making them and I love playing with them. Okay, so there's the pocket, and on the other side of this signature we have an opening this way and this way. I really hope that I'm in shot with all these. It's such a large page to show. So 8 by 8 inches, 8 by 8, and I think this one is 6½ by 8. So again, a lot of room to add all those lovely memories in there. Now we are on to signature number 2, and again I went with the gold all around it. This one opens upwards, again loads of room in there, and this one has a pocket which holds these lovely booklets. Now I only decorated the front page of the booklets because this allows for anyone to add any photos and all in here without this getting too bulky. So I made these in all different sizes using all the different papers from the collection. I think this is gorgeous. Love it. Okay, so the other side of this signature again has that secret pocket in there. Opens up just like this. Again, lovely large room for your memories, memory keeping, pictures, journaling, and magnet closing in there. So the next signature has this little fold-up pocket on the front in here. I think it's a lovely decorative piece in there. So when we open this up, it has this lovely butterfly book kind of a feature. I love it. So again, pictures can be added either side or in the middle or even on the back side of this little booklet in here. Now there's the little hidden pocket, and this is going to be the big one. I hope I will be able to show everything in shot in here. So this one opens upwards, and there's an 8 by 8 inches room in there, but then the bottom bit will open downwards, and this one is 5.5 by 8 inches. Okay, so this is what it looks like. I hope you can pick up on it. Now this side opens to this bit, and it's like a concertina fold, so there's two smaller and a larger area. Okay, again, loads of room in there as well. And on the other side we have the two smaller bits in there, the two in there, and also did this lovely waterfall feature again to add loads of photographs, journaling, memory keeping in there. I think it's such a good page in here. There's loads of lovely hidden areas in there. So this next signature again has the hidden pocket as well, and this here just lifts away. Okay, so there's magnets on either side, 1, 2, which just snaps it into place to keep the little door closed. Okay, so these open like so. This one opens upwards again, and there's two, instead of booklets in here, I just added photo mats. Just because I added 2 photo mats, it doesn't mean that more photographs can't be added in there. It can hold much more than those 2 just. Okay, so this page has this flap again with a magnetic closing, opens upwards and downwards. Okay, so there's loads of room in there and on the bottom half as well. In here we have again one of these waterfall features, and a little pocket in here. I felt it was just too plain, so that's why I added a little corner pocket with a couple of different sized photo mats again. So now this page is a fun one, a lovely interactive one. Once you open it, it reveals this gorgeous pop-up piece which can hold 4 lovely mini photographs, and also loads of room below and above it on those pages as well. Okay. On this page we have an opening this way and this way, and again I just left them plain, where you can add loads of photographs, journaling, anything again. So this last signature again with the hidden pocket, so this one opens up and has the pocket with these all different photo mats. Okay, again all different sizes. I think one of them was a booklet. Yeah, this one I made a booklet, but they are all different sizes, and also the decorative paper is also on one side only, allowing to add a lot more bulk onto the back side of them, and also you can add much more into these pockets than what's in there already. The last page I've just left plain. Okay, so I just added the decorative paper in them. It's a lovely way to finish off an album, where you can add lovely little memory stacks, you can add stickers, photographs, just finish off your album about the little notes about the memories inside it. So this is the album. I think it's gorgeous. It definitely is a labor of love. Love that little sentiment again. Imagine with all your mind, believe with all your heart, and achieve with all your might. Definitely applies to me making this album. From imagining to making it to achieving it. Yeah, I think it's gorgeous. I really hope my sister will love it as much as I do. If not, I'll take it back and I'll use it. I hope you enjoyed that little pre-recorded video of the walkthrough that I added to this. I really loved watching it back. I think it's just such a gorgeous interactive album. I love making these. They are a labor of love for sure, but they are so worth it. And now look at those flowers, fully dried glue on them. There's no glue, no sign of glue, just that gorgeous, beautiful sparkle all over. I really love how this turned out, and there's a little close-up image for you all again. And if you enjoyed this video, please give me the thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet done so. I have some more lovely gorgeous tutorials coming up very soon, and I can't wait to see you the next time. And until then, bye!